On 1, 2.
Hello out there in YouTube land, Rival here. Thanks for stopping by. I got a knife review on the turntable for you, and for a lot of you guys, this might be an introduction to a knife company called Stedemon Knives. These are a Chinese company, a Chinese manufacturer. This, I believe, is their second offering. They've had another one going around, but I'm not very familiar with it. This was my first introduction to them as well. There's been a lot of these premium Chinese manufacturers coming into the U.S. market lately. You've got guys like Kaiser and another company like Rete that are putting together some really high-quality custom designs, or at least original designs, and putting together practices that have been used for a while, really to build up a bad reputation in the Chinese market as far as cloning goes, but now putting a lot of those things that they've learned in the manufacturing processes and materials together to come up with a more premium product. So that's actually something really nice to be seen. And this it really shapes up to be a pretty sweet little offering. So to get some information and some specs out of the way here, I'll just put this over here. So what we've got here is a S35 VN blade steel. You're looking at 8.6 inches overall from tip to tip. Blade length is about 3.74 inches, so 3 3/4. It is a full titanium frame lock. However, this is TC4 titanium as opposed to 6AL4V titanium. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It does run on bearings. It actually runs on ceramic ball bearings. And we'll also talk about that in a moment, as well as having a ceramic ball as really the detent for the pocket clip. The S35 VN is heat treated to 58 to 60 HRC, which is pretty good overall. The weight on this bad boy, keep in mind this is a pretty thick little, or pretty thick, big knife. This thing comes at a whopping 7.8 ounces, so it's a bit of a brick. So for you guys out there who don't like carrying bricks in your pockets, this one may not be for you. You can see a carbon fiber insert in the handle there, and overall, I think this knife looks really, really good. I can tell you the ergonomics on it are fantastic. Also, the flipping action is fantastic. It really fills the hand, fits it really well. The finger groove, or finger choil, if you will, really invites your finger to wrap around there, gives you a good grip on the knife. There is no jimping, but there is some nice relief cut there where your flipper finger is going to push that flipper in. You can light switch this or push button it. It's got good retention. The ceramic ball bearings, it's definitely a slightly different feel than steel ball bearings. For those of you who have a lot of ball bearing knives or are used to flipping ball bearing knives, you'll know what I mean when you get your hands on one of these. But you can feel the difference in that harder ceramic material than even hardened steel ball bearings. It's not that it isn't smooth. It just has a slightly different feel to it, and that's kind of hard to describe over a video. The whole knife is really nicely stonewashed, so as far as hiding scratches, scuffs, and things like that, it works really well. Being the S35 VN blade steel, it takes a really keen edge. I like S35 VN. It's by no means a bad steel. You've got this nice leaf-shaped blade. It really reminds me of like a Tenacious or a Spyderco blade shape. You've got that Stedemon logo on the knife there. You got a decent sized pivot, and like I said, that flipping action, it's really snappy. I like that the tang of the flipper, or the flipper trigger, if you will, has that slant to it. It really invites your finger to just push right in. I can open this knife with literally every finger. It is extremely smooth, so it's really nice to see. Hello, pinky open. So I said it's got the ceramic ball in the pocket clip as well. This is something I think you've seen on like some bag knives and a few other custom makers out there. But it really provides a pretty awesome detent on the pocket clip. It allows it to slide in and out really well, and it also has enough tension on it because it is a carved clip, or a milled clip, if you will. It has enough retention in it to really keep it in your pocket, so there's no worries about that. I like the backspacer, also titanium. It's got that nice big cutout for a lanyard for all you lanyard guys. It's got some gear pattern cuts, but it doesn't protrude at all. It just has those cuts in there for that added look, which is nice. So it's partially flow through. It does have a hardened steel insert as far as the lock goes. Lock shape and everything is pretty nice. Lock up, it's about 50%. It's strong, it's sturdy, it's not going anywhere. There's no side-to-side play, north or south play. So that's very nice as well. I mean, the overall construction of this knife is fantastic. It's very impressive. Again, especially coming from some of these Chinese manufacturers, it's really nice to see that build quality up there and the focus being put on that. And the ergonomics of this knife are really fantastic as well. It really wants you to use it. As far as a comparison knife goes, you know, I'd have to put this up against something like my 0550. It's a hair bigger than the 0550, but you're going to have a similar cutting edge. This one's slightly longer, but not by a whole lot. Thickness is very similar as well, so they're going to be very comparable in thickness. Weight, this one's got it a little bit beat. It is a little smaller, like we stated. It's also got some pockets milled out in the liner there, so it's a little bit lighter. But overall, I think these two knives would be extremely comparable. It's a hair bigger than the 0550. It's a hair smaller than the 0560. It weighs more than both of them, so it is a bit of a tank, like I stated. The only real drawback that I see to a knife like this is the price, and that's where some of the other things come into play. So I mentioned earlier in the video that it's TC4 titanium, and for those of you guys who are alloy guys out there, TC4 is slightly lesser in grade than your standard grade 5 titanium, which is going to be the 6AL4V knife maker grade. It's referred to aerospace quality, as it's referred to. It's also biomedical quality, and that's where some of the main differences come into play. TC4, such as this, it's going to be a little bit cheaper than the 6AL4V. It's commercially pure, meaning it is a very good, sturdy alloy of titanium. It's free from a lot of other components that could really draw away from the purity of that titanium, the strength, and all the benefits that you're going to get from titanium. But it does have some things in there that are going to be harmful, say if you're going to use it for a bio or medical applications. And 6AL4V takes a slight working heat treat. So it's going to be better in some applications where it's going to be up against sturdier or stiffer elements, I should say, more abusive elements. It's going to hold up better. So you're going to pay a smaller premium for that. So you've got that, and then, you know, in conjunction with it being manufactured in China as well. So they're importing these premium steels and materials to them. They're building in China, but then they're shipping them right back over to the United States. So as far as a price savings goes, you know, this thing really competes with a lot of those higher end makes and models. Right now on Blade HQ, I believe these things are going for around $330, $340. So that's a pretty premium price for a knife that's an import. And for some of you USA only guys out there, for some of you guys who are really stuck on keeping those bucks in America, that's going to be a little bit tougher to convince some folks to dive in. All in all, though, I would say, you know, if this were an American-made knife, or if you didn't know it were a China-made knife, and you saw that price tag with these materials and this build quality, I don't think guys would bat an eyelash. So when it comes to the materials, the quality of the build, the ergonomics of the knife, the function of the knife, you're getting a really fantastic package for that price tag. They are currently available in a couple of different styles. I believe you can get some coloring done on this. I believe there's a DLC coated one as well. So again, this is called the Stedemon Knives Bastion. There you go, CPM S35VN. The Bastion, full flat grind on that blade, if I didn't mention that before either. So all in all, again, I'm very impressed by this knife. This is the, I believe, second Chinese import, high-end import that I've reviewed, and again, I've been really impressed with both of them. So if you have an opportunity to get your hands on one of these, definitely do so. If you guys have been interested or on the fence about picking one up, I would definitely say you won't be disappointed if you're if this is in your price range and something that has been piquing your interest. I'm thoroughly impressed, and I've really enjoyed having the knife. I got it in a pass around from the Blade Forums, so I appreciate the guys over at Blade Forums. I appreciate the manufacturers that participate in these types of things, let us make videos to share with you guys, and I appreciate your support. So like and subscribe, and stop back again. Peace.